Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
Small, I want to make it where they can see him better.
The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is Tuesday, March 7th of 2023. We are convening in Baton Rouge. So the panel on today, to my left is Mr. Alvin Roche, to my right is Mr. Pete Freeman, and I am Pearl Wise, who will be chairing today. Board staff that Baton Rouge on.
Francis Abbott.
Our remote location is Allen Correctional Center. With the staff at Allen, please introduce yourself.
Michelle Harmon, ARDC Specialist 3.
Deputy Warden Thompson.
Thank you. We are ready for our first case. Good morning. Give us your name and DOC number, please.
Mark Verrett, 410053.
All right, Ms. Verrett, you heard the introductions already. You heard the introductions of our names.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I won't repeat that. Let me explain the process to you. I'm going to read some information into the record, and afterwards, I'm going to conduct the interview with you. And we're going to start in where you having a hard time hearing? Having a hard time hearing?
Yeah, the volume is low.
Okay, let's see.
We're working on that part.
He's moving in now. This is the one we normally own too.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Ma'am,
I'm asking him, can he hear me now?
you hear Ms. Wise?
Can you hear me now, Ms. Barrett?
I can hear.
He can hear you.
Okay, put the camera down a little bit so we can see see him. Yeah, there we go, right there. That's good. That's really good. All right, we got to make sure we project our voice this morning. Let me explain the process to you. I'm going to read some information into the record. Afterwards, we're going to conduct the interview with you, starting with Mr. Roche. After we finish our interview, we have some visitors here in headquarters I'm pretty sure you're aware of, and they are in support. We're going to give them an opportunity to speak. Jerome Barkin, he's in support. He's here in person. He's going to speak. We have Ronald Williamson Sr., Marquita Miller, Wanda Simmons. Marquita Miller is on Zoom. In person, we have Wanda Simmons. We have Michael Holloway, and we have Talisha Clark in person. And what I received, only one person is speaking on your behalf, but you have good support this morning. After we finish our interview and we hear from the warden, he shared his input, we're going to allow your visitor to speak. And then at the end, all of our talking, we're going to give you a chance to talk. Tell us whatever you want us to know, and then the decision, and then the committee will vote. And do you understand the process?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me read the information into the record. Your recorded name is Mark Verrett. Your DOC number is 410053. You're listed as a second offender. Your current offense, habitual offender, possession of cocaine in excess of 400 grams, and illegal possession of stolen things. You were sentenced on May 24th of 2000. You were sentenced to 40 years. Let's see, your parole eligibility date was July 26th of 2021. You have an adjusted good time date of March the 29th of 2039. And you have a full term date of March 23rd of 2040. That sounds about right, sir?
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Mr. Roche.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Good morning, Mr. Verrett.
Good morning.
Morning, Warden Thompson. How are you?
Good, sir. How you doing this morning? Good morning.
Good. Thank you for asking. Mr. Verrett, this is a re-hearing, am I right?
Right.
And your first hearing was on June 8th, 2021. and you were denied because of prior criminal history, poor supervision history, and law enforcement applications. None of those things have changed. You still have a extensive criminal background. You still have a poor supervision history, and law enforcement is always going to be important. So we're going to try to find some positives since your last hearing. So tell me about the program that you completed since your last hearing.
Oh, I completed a BBOA Spanish class.
And what?
Speak loud.
BBOA Spanish class. And
Okay.
I was still at the time I was still enrolled in Ashland University, where I completed.
Now, education is good. Education is one of the best things in the world. But I'm more interested in rehabilitative programs. I see that you've completed Thinking for a Change. Is that right?
All right.
So tell me why you think Thinking for a Change was you enrolled in Thinking for a Change, and why do you think that course was given to you? What did you learn from Thinking for a Change?
I just learned that, to respect people, to just, to live life, do unto people as I would want them to do unto me.
Sir, I'm gonna do my best. To find some positive things. Tell me about Thinking for a Change.
Volume 19.
Well, did I take something for a second?
Well, let me see if I'm wrong. One second. One second.
Did phase 1 and 2 of
Hey, celebrate recovery.
I never took that.
I'm looking at you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It is my error. I want you to take Thinking for a Change.
Okay.
I want you to take simply because you have to change the way of thinking. Okay? Basically, you have arrests for violence, you have arrests for drugs and alcohol, and you have to change your way of thinking. And I'm going to suggest that you take the change if I find enough positive things since last hearing to give you a change. You backing up a good time of almost 16 years before your good time date. Am I right?
Right.
So tell me, you've taken Spanish classes, you enrolled in other college classes. Tell me any positive things that you've done since June of 21. Organizational activities, community activities, anything you've done.
Excuse me, I really couldn't hear what you said. Other than
Have you participated in any community service since the last year?
no, I haven't.
Have you participated in any organizational?
No, I haven't. No organization.
Okay, so June of 2021 was almost 20 months ago. Tell me what you've been doing for the last 20 months.
I've taken was taking the Ashland classes and the Spanish classes to help me with the business that I plan to.
So Spanish classes is not gonna help with your drug problem.
No, I don't know, not directly, indirectly it does. Because it will help me with my employment, to be self-employed. Which I'm not going back to sell drugs anyway, because, you know, I know how it affects the community. But
I asked you a question, why are you speaking? So you've taken no classes in the last 20 months, is that correct?
yeah, I've taken the 2 classes that I just mentioned.
Let me rephrase that. Have you taken any OC good time programs in the last 20 months?
I'm not eligible for any more good time classes. My good time is full. I actually exceeded it, so I can't get any more.
So let me run it down. Have you taken anger management?
I've taken anger management already. I can only take it 1 time.
Sir, and yes or no would be sufficient. Have you taken anger management?
Yes,
Have you taken substance abuse?
yes.
Okay, which substance abuse did you take? Third, what substance abuse did you take?
I've taken Alcoholics Anonymous, Living in Balance 1 and 2.
Okay, living in balance. Okay. Have you taken victim awareness?
Sexual,
Victim awareness.
no, I've never taken that.
Have you taken pre-release?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what your sobriety plan will be if and when you release.
What's plan?
Can you say it again, Mr. Roche?
Tell me what your sobriety plan will be if you release.
What will your sobriety plan be if you're released?
Sober,
Sobriety plan.
like, to stay sober.
Mhm.
I would be employed with JB Sweeping Service. Working in Jerome Barkins.
Sir, let me repeat my question. What will your sobriety plan be? How will you keep from using drugs and alcohol?
I don't use drugs. I'm still away from selling drugs. I was a drug dealer.
You were convicted of what crime?
Possession of cocaine.
Okay. I don't see possession with the intent to distribute. I see possession. So it tells me that you were using drugs.
400 excess of 400 grams. No way in the world I would use all that. No, indeed.
So you've never used drugs.
I've never used cocaine in my life.
I didn't say whether you use cocaine or not. I said, have you ever used drugs?
I've smoked marijuana.
Anything stronger than marijuana?
Nothing.
Okay, 1996. Possession with intent to distribute marijuana. 1997, possession of marijuana. 1998, possession of marijuana. Possession of marijuana. Aggravated assault. 1998, simple battery. 1998, hit and run. 1998, possession of Schedule 1. 1999, possession with intent and manufacturing of Schedule 2. Illegal sale of drug paraphernalia. All those arrests were yours?
It sounds like, I don't remember all of that, but it sounds correct.
So, at no point in your life did you ever use any drug except marijuana.
Never used any drugs except marijuana. And that was when I was 22 years old. I'm 46 years old now.
Mr. Verrett, answer my questions. I don't need any editorial. Just answer my question. Now, so you are a drug dealer, am I correct?
Right.
So you went about your community with your friends and your family, and you sold drugs to make them addictive and get them to a place that they would take and could have overdose and die. And you didn't take drugs because you knew that it was bad and it would cause addiction. Am I right?
I smoked marijuana. That was the drug. It was the drug of my choice at the time.
Why did you not use drugs?
I smoked marijuana.
Yeah, so why didn't you actually use drugs?
I did use drugs. I did. I didn't use coke. You mean cocaine?
That's into the question.
Yes, he meant cocaine, yes. You admitted to you using
Yes.
marijuana, but the drug that you were selling, why you didn't use it?
Because when I was in elementary school, I was told by a teacher that, you know, the man-made drugs, you know, some people it affects differently. So I was just afraid to even try it.
Because it might cause an addiction on your part, right?
Yes. It was more about what she was speaking about was immediate harm, like death, something overdose.
Right, exactly.
That's what I didn't want.
So why did you sell it to individuals that would cause the same thing?
Because I was in an environment where everybody was just using it. It wasn't affecting them. That's what I saw at the time. But now I know I see different. I know how it breaks up families. Fathers are sent fathers to prison. The kids. It affects the children. They might follow in that direction. End up getting killed in the streets or end up in prison like me. I have a brother that I lost who was in that environment around people who were using drugs, and one of them killed him. You know, because he didn't have a father in his life. I didn't have a father myself. My little brother, he wrote me a letter one time and told me, and I could tell he was crying in the letter. You know, that he didn't have a father figure, and he looked up to me. You know, and that was painful, and then he ended up getting killed.
But you still don't have the full understanding of what your crime did to your community. And I just don't see you ready, because you have not accepted responsibility for polluting your community with drugs, and you had intoxications, hit and runs. You're very, you're not responsible. You don't take things as they were meant to be. You're all about yourself, more correct. You gotta get to the point where you get to the point that community, family, friends come first, and walk comes second.
No, that's not right.
And tell me why it's not right.
That's not right. I just explained to you why. I became a tutor when I got my GED because I wanted to help people. That's still what I want to do. I want to go home. I want to help people. When I start my business, any youngster who might be interested in starting a business, and I know there will be a few. I mean, I can't. You can't lead anybody to force anybody to do anything. But when somebody steps forward and asks for help in learning how to start a business, and I will let them know. A lot of people, it will be known that I'm there to help.
Okay.
Probably drives people to do things.
That's enough, Mark. That's enough. So tell me what your job assignment is at Allen right now.
I work as I'm an orderly in a cell block orderly.
Okay. Tell me about your write-ups.
Which write-up?
Warren Johnson. How
Yes,
many
sir.
write-ups? How many write-ups does he have, and when was his last write-up?
His last write-up, sir, was actually on 2/3/20 for Rule 30W. He and I spoke about that on the other day. It's basically what the DB report is stating in regards to involvement in gambling.
Gambling.
Yes, sir. And that was on 2/3/20. That was for a Rule 30W.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about that one?
Yes, sir. Let me get to the investigative report. But basically, the investigative report indicated that he and another offender actually got into it. And it was found fighting in the lobby of a dormitory unit. Further investigation went a little bit into detail in regards to there actually was some gambling that was going on between the two offenders, and they kind of like got into it because of gambling debts.
Okay, okay. How many total write-ups does he have?
I'm sorry,
How many total write-ups?
we have a total of 7 write-ups.
Tell me your transition plan, Mr. Verrett.
Where do I plan to live or work?
Okay, tell me your transition plan.
I live with my sister at home, 3751 Thomas Drive.
And where is that?
That's at home.
Oh, okay. And where you plan to work?
JB Sweeping Service with Mr. Jerome Barton's business.
And what will you be doing?
Helping clean, helping clean parking lots, public properties.
Okay. Now. How do you plan to give back to the community that you sold drugs in when you release?
I'm gonna help guys become self-employed. If anybody need any tutoring on the side and I can help, I'll do that. I know a lot of kids, they have a hard time learning math and reading. I was an English tutor and a reading tutor. So
How many hours do you have towards a college degree?
I have my associate's degree, and I went a little further into the bachelor's.
How many hours do you need to get a bachelor's degree?
I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure.
Mr. Verrett, you have a long way to go. Sometimes, Mr. Verrett, you need to listen more than you talk. You learn more that way. If you listen carefully and then speak, I think you'll be much better off. This advice from an old man. This advice from an old man. Okay. Warren Thompson, can you give me any further information about his time at Allen Correctional Center?
What I can tell you, sir, is that he's currently working the cell block as Arlie. The artists that work in the cell block are guys that's more handpicked, so to speak of, because they have to be a little bit more responsible, so to speak of, to deal with those inmates in the cell block and to take on the tasks that they need to get done on a daily basis. Mr. Verrett and myself did talk on the other day, and I think one of his biggest problems is he just needs to learn how to take more responsibility of his actions. To always try to defend situations or try to, go around it. Just take the responsibility of it. And I think he'll have a little bit better success.
And he would have much better success this morning if he would have did that.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Verrett, I need a brief and detailed explanation of what happened with that 30W. Tell me exactly what happened.
Well, the offender, he was working on the hallway. He had access to each tier. Yeah, there's 8 tiers on each unit. And he came to me and he told me that someone wanted to borrow 2 bags of chips. I gave him the 2 bags of chips. It was actually 2 people he said wanted 2 bags of chips. I gave him the chips. He came one time earlier and he came back later. 2 bags of chips each time. And then, those people was supposed to give me this back on store day. When store day came, they said they never got any chips. They never sent for any chips. He had taken them. So I went and I confronted him about it. It was an argument. He was calling me old, and we kept arguing. He swung at me, he missed though, but then we fought.
What about the gambling?
The lieutenant, yes, that's what he thought. He was thinking that it was gambling because it was Super Bowl night. It had nothing to do with gambling.
Were you found guilty?
Yes. I pleaded guilty to the 30W.
There must be some evidence that gambling was going on if that write-up is legitimate. You were found guilty. There must be some evidence that led to the conclusion that gambling was going on. And now I want to remind you that Warren Thompson just mentioned, just go ahead and take responsibility for your actions, and you'll be better off.
I don't gamble.
You gotta ask, you gotta talk to them over there.
It's not about gambling. And it's a similar situation. You know, I wasn't supposed to be lending anybody anything, you know, but gambling, no, it's not gambling. I was lending, letting people borrow stuff.
It was simply a number 10, it was a fight.
Yeah, they found me guilty of a fight.
And why did they charge with a 30 deputy?
That's what they because I had at the time that they asked me if I wanted to plead guilty to it. He had already went in and he pled guilty to the same thing. And when I went in, they asked me if I wanted to plead guilty to 30W, and I pled guilty to it.
You do know a fight, a disciplinary for a fight is number 10 or 11.
Right. This is what was offered to us. That's what was offered to him. So they offered me the same thing, and I pleaded guilty to it.
You pled guilty to 30 deputy.
Right.
Mr. Verrett, you have not been very cooperative this morning. But I will sit and listen, and I will try to make a fair and decision. But you have not helped yourself this morning at all. This is why.
Mr. Verrett, I have a few questions. You have 970 days of programming. So you spent a lot of time in classes. Now call out for the record how long you've been in DOC, this time on this chart.
In the Department of Corrections,
Yes, sir. It's how much time have you served on this chart?
this charge is 23 years.
23 years, you got 970 days of program. That's really good. As you look back over those programs, which ones stood out the most to you? Which ones really helped you? And what did you learn?
I really can't pinpoint which program that I learned things from, but I learned things along the way.
Okay, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Oh, okay, okay, good. I just been corrected. 670 hours of that was for tutoring, was for you giving back, and that speaks volumes to me as well.
That's
And really
community service,
Yeah.
by the way, when he asked that question.
Yeah, that's community service.
I mean, he was asking me about community service since the last hearing.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, good point. So I realized that you kind of learned along the way. I mean, so when did you decide that you didn't want to be a drug dealer anymore?
It was a long time ago. It was probably like, it was sometime while I was in Angola sitting in the cell. I didn't know a lot of time to think.
Do you remember how old you was?
Yeah, I think I was in my probably late 20s.
Okay, so right after you got your time, you decided.
Yeah, not long afterwards.
Over 20 years, you got, did we say 7 write-ups or 17? I couldn't, what no, 7
It's
write-ups.
7. Yes, ma'am, it's 7, Ms. Wise.
Thank you, sir. 7 write-ups in 20 years. So that does indicate you had started thinking for a change.
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay. And you keep mentioning a business, but your job plan is, you work for somebody. What's the self-employed business that you have that you're thinking about doing?
Well, right now, my sister, she has a business. She sells technology, AirPods, Apple Watches. She sells, but she sells only a few items. And I was going to get into this business, maybe sell, put a few more products in, maybe cell phones, laptops, tablets, stuff like that. And see if, you know, help the business grow.
Okay, okay. And you're taking the Spanish, what's the goal of taking the Spanish class?
It was to communicate with people who speak Spanish, possibly South America, Latin America.
And what you plan on doing there?
I was just to communicate with them on social media at first.
Oh, It is a very good skill to have, though, to be able to speak Spanish. It
Yes.
really is. You think about go ahead and maybe getting certified as a tutor, a lot of courses stuff, they need now a tutor for interpreter in Spanish. They need that from time to time. They make good money for a little short period of time. And you want to put that on your plate as a separate idea, being able to speak Spanish. You took when he asked you about the sobriety plan, and you said you've been you've taken AA and NA, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how long did you use marijuana? How many years? You said you started in your 20s, did you say?
Oh, the first time I tried it, I was probably 17.
Okay, okay.
And it was I don't like it. I really don't like the taste of smoke. You know,
Oh.
and I would probably just probably smoke that probably 2 or 3 times a year or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. And Mr. Roche has another question for you.
For the record, Mr. Verrett has already completed 4 good time classes. He completed Living in Balance in 2015. He completed Anger Management in 2012. And he completed pre-release in 2018. As a matter of fact, that's the only 3 classes he's completed. He has not completed a good time program since 2018, which is 5 years ago. Warren Thompson, what programs that you have available at Allen Correctional Center that he has not completed?
I have my clarification part right here, can kind of help me out with it a little bit. Can you hold on 1 second, please?
So, Mr. Roche, the thinking for the change, he's not eligible to take because he has a low risk score. And the other one you asked him about, victim awareness, they're just gonna start that program up.
Now, clarification officer, if I make it mandatory that he completes thinking for a change before he's released, he's eligible, right?
That's correct. That is correct.
And victim awareness is also available. And what else?
I'd have to check and see what else he's eligible for. A lot of programs, we're just getting back on the road with it since our expansion. So we were limited to a lot of programs. So now with the expansion, we're just getting back on board with them.
What substance abuse education programs do you have?
We have the Living in Balance and the AA and NA.
No, Celebrate Recovery.
Sir,
Celebrate Recovery?
I'd have to check and see if they still do Celebrate Recovery here.
I haven't even heard of that.
She's going to check on it, sir.
Thank you, Ward.
Yes, sir.
One other question, well, a few more comments. I do want to state on the record, and it's kind of unusual. The chief of police in your hometown is unopposed to your early release.
Right.
And that's encouraging. That's encouraging for me. How many of those 600 hours that you've done in tutoring, how many individuals that you work with would you say pass the high set?
It's-
Did they
it's-
keep account?
No, it's so many of them, you know, when they get,
Let's throw a number out there, guess, just give me a guess.
I would say at least probably like 20 to 30 people.
Oh.
Yeah, it's people. Yeah, I have to go with the people.
It brings a big smile to your face. I'm sure they come back and really appreciate you when they pass, huh?
Well, yeah, and even if they get sent to another prison, they come back, they see me, I might forget their name, but they know Mark. Well, hey Mark, they all of the students, they know.
So you must be real patient when you're tutoring.
Yeah, I really want to help. I want to help them get it. I really want to help them get it.
All right, are there any further questions? While we waiting on that answer from? Okay, all right. So we have a speaker here, Mr. Jerome Boykin. Would you come forward at this time? You can stand at the podium and just speak to us. You've been here before.
Right. Good morning, how you all?
Good morning, good morning.
Yeah, the wrong boy. I got one, I am also president of the local economic pattern. I own a business, but been on it for approximately 17 years. And this is the red is the lease. It's trash, it's a vacuum truck. And you have part. You get the back. Also, I want to have another Black Wall Street, we can go. I want to say that, I read, but just like I have several other inmates who have been in prison for a long time. And to be honest with you, I guess, boy, one is Elliot shipbuilding. Yeah, so pipeline. So Mr. Verrett will have an opportunity to work not only for my company, but other companies that I represent until I'm married. Also, his sister, Ms. Wanda, who have been employed with Popeyes for 35 years. They had already said that he definitely find employment. But they want the families have job to make money. Now it's 46 years of age. The things that he done when he was 22, we talking about a long span. No, selling drugs is wrong. There's no excuse to sell drugs. I work in law against drugs. And family members who get suicide. And definitely against drugs. However, I wouldn't want you to see my record. I would want you to see the things that I've done. Yes. But I did career and then I got on the right track. Many of these guys need a hand up. Many of these guys need role models in their life. A lot of times people come in here, it's easy to criticize people. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because you yourself have a good education, you raise your family, you do all the wonderful and good things that a citizen should do. Now, Mr. Verrett has been incarcerated almost 24 years. No, he may not have had the best interview that he can make and have. I would agree with that. But the positive, let's look at the positive. Only like a year. By any individual. I don't think I would only have $7. But only 7 items in. I'm asking you all today. We can send it back out. I can assure you that I would be a part of it. Also, I wanted to step further. When he came before the board, I think it was in 8 of 2021. 21. When he came before this board, one of the oppositions that he had was the bill package. Arizona. I had an opportunity to speak with the sheriff Tim Sonny on yesterday. And I can assure you that the sheriff told me that there's no way that he can be in opposition for nonviolent offense with drugs on someone who has spent over the time that they have been sentenced. He sentenced for 40 years. He has done 23 years or 24 years in prison. And he decided not to be in opposition. That's going a step further. That's a positive step to try to help this young man. So I'm asking you all today to please, please consider sending him back to our community. I want to thank you for your time and consideration.
Mr. Barker,
Yes, sir.
good morning. Most of your work is done after hours, right? Being the parking lots.
Yes, sir.
So most of that's done after 10, 11 o'clock at night.
We get started probably around 9 o'clock.
So he's going to work with his parole officer because it'll be a curfew. But there'll be an exception for work and church and everything. So please remind him that you have to alert and inform his parole officer that he's going to be working overnight.
Yes, sir. We are currently doing that with other informing him
Yeah.
that you all have
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he does anything that he shouldn't do, I would put that on.
And I believe
And I want to see what we're doing right here. Given it, I'm over 24 years. Very long.
I just want to, but you're familiar with that, you have other.
Yes,
So,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
This board have released other information to back our community that was so many. The excellent job.
So you have 100% success rate?
So far, I have people come to me all the time, but I wanna be in a position to like choose the right person. I want
Now,
to
every program does that.
everything
Every
that I
program
possibly can do to get the right person back in our community. People, I'm with it, people can change their life only if we get an opportunity. We can stand here really all day and we make it ready. Looking at the positive part of it, almost 24 years, only 7 writers in a controlled environment. Prison is a controlled environment.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And I allowed you to go over the minutes. If you only have one speaker, everybody else, they put everything in you, so that's why I let you have some extra minutes. So you the sister he's gonna live with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We have a choice, or y'all, I don't know, if y'all have a choice. My mom passed away a year ago, and
sorry
she
to
left
hear
the
that.
house. So I've been keeping it up for him. And
he just has to get that approved by his.
the parole officer came to that house.
Good.
People came to that house.
Good.
And talked to my sister, other people, they did, and they talked to her.
So, Mr. Verrett, what do you want to tell us? It's your statement time now. What do you want us to know before we vote? You
And
have the last word.
I just hope that that you understand, that you see that. I want to go home. Be a productive citizen in society, you know. I can be an asset. I will help some people in their situations. You know. Go home and help my family, be there for my family, you know, keep people out of trouble. I have nephews. I have a little one coming up. He's probably almost 2 years old. Where my people live, you know, it's black neighborhood. There's crime all around, you know. I just want to keep them away from that.
Thank you. The panel ready to vote?
Yes, Warden Thompson,
Yes, sir.
you have any, more programs that are available?
Yes, sir. We actually found that he could be eligible to have to take some IBC classes in regards to pipe fitting, forklift class, and driving class as well. We do currently have the more complex class here as well.
The Royal Conference?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's great, okay. Thank you, Mr. Verrett. Needless to say that your interview wasn't you didn't perform very well in the interview. But you were sentenced to 40 years back 23 years ago, and I don't think for the same crime you would be sentenced at 1/4 or 1/2 that if you would commit that crime today.
Excuse me, I can't hear you.
Okay. Everybody else understand exactly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah. So basically, when you were sentenced 23 years ago, you were sentenced to 40 years. If you were sentenced for that same crime today, that would probably be 1/4 of that sentence.
Right.
I'm going to give you an opportunity and a chance to become what you have advocated this morning, a productive member of society. But I'm going to share a part of my gospel reading. I listen to today's gospel every day. And a part of that gospel today says that you should humble yourself to be exalted. If you exalt yourself to the point where you think you are everything, sooner or later you will be humbled. And let other people blow your whistle, and you don't have to put accolades towards yourself. Let other people do that. You perform and you do things the right way. You listen and you take in information and you use that information. And sometimes when you talk so much, you hinder your ability to listen and take in information that you need to become that productive member of society that you're talking about. This is a piece of advice from an old man. I'm going to grant your release conditionally after you complete Thinking for a change, victim awareness, and moral compass. That full-time program will help you to point your direction due north. It's a moral compass. And I think thinking for a change, the moral compass, and victim awareness will help you understand the suffering and pain that you cause community by selling drugs. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
I understand.
So after you complete thinking for a change, a moral compass, and victim awareness, you will be released. Upon release, I want you to attend NAA meetings for 6 months. I want you to go into those meetings and see what you've done to the community by selling drugs. Since you didn't use drugs, I'm not going to make it mandatory that you attend any longer than 6 months. And I want you to attend those meetings for 6 months. Just listen and see what shape the community is in because of drugs. I want you to attend those meetings 3 times a week for 6 months. I want you to do community service with at-risk youth. I want you to talk to individuals and steer them in the right direction. You have a story to tell. You've been incarcerated 23 years. And I want you to tell disadvantaged youth about your incarceration and what caused your incarceration, hopefully leading them in the right direction. And I want you to have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I want you to get with the law officer and tell them that you'll be working late hours overnight and get approval from that law officer on nights that you'll be working on the overnight shift at your job with Mr. Barker. You understand those conditions?
I understand.
Oh, you want to get out, but my hope and wish is that when you do get out, you'll stay out. These programs will help you to do that. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Mr. Freeman?
I also definitely grant you. I got a lot more out of your interview, obviously, than other people did. I think you've done the best you could. You did your tutoring. You got a college degree, which you didn't have when you went in there, and you should be proud of those things. And you go out there and you do what the Boykin said, and you use these people if you need them. Turn to somebody if you find yourself slipping away. You have great family, great community support. So I'm also going to vote to grant, and I'm going to just order thinking for a change in victim awareness. Moral compass is pretty much both of those put together.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. I too was impressed with your interview. I think it's just your personality, and it is what you use over this 20 years to make it, and you didn't change it today. You just have to kind of take you the way you are. My vote is to grant as well. What impressed me is the lack of law enforcement opposition. That's huge, and I hope you value that and try to team up with the law enforcement because they see you differently. The tutoring hours that really impressed me, and your community support here in the hearing room. and your educational attainment, since you've been locked up. That's huge. Also, I concur with the special conditions set by Mr. Roche, but if I want you to do more than just talk to you. I want you to tutor you. You got that skill, don't lose it. You're gonna be amazed at what's going on with the pandemic and how kids are behind educationally. So you can do some stuff in the evenings when kids get out of school for tutoring. That's needed more, and tutors they're in demand now, and they are charging quite a bit per hour, so a lot of parents can't afford it. So I really want you to continue that tutoring skill that you've amassed over this time. So you got 3 votes to grant. Your parole has been granted after you complete all the programs that's been set forth. Thank you.
And all 3.
All 3 programs have been set forth. And the warden, I'm sure they'll move you to the top of the list because you have 9 months to get those done.
I think,
Thank y'all. Thank you, Warden. We appreciate it. I think it's the only case we have here. We have one other case. All right, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank y'all.